Oh, Tammy is actually really just joining us. Hello, Tammy. Oh, very good. Look at that.
How are you?
Good. Thank you. Actually, I think I have met you really at the party that
Yes.
Tony did.
Yes,
Right.
in December. Yes.
Now I remember. Absolutely. Yes. Good. Well, welcome everybody, and welcome really to this to the network. It's very good. And Tony, I think there is no introduction to be made. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, I sent really a link to the website and everything else. He is actually working on various things. He's calling himself the see-through coach, really, according to his website right now. Visionary, cognition expert, international speakers, filmmakers now, and of course, that's the subject of the talk really today that Tony is going to talk about Living My Illusions, which is the latest really television documentary series. And I won't spoil it for you really what it is all about. And I think really Tony will explain that to us really right now. So Tony, really without further ado, welcome, and please really, if you would like to introduce yourself and say a few words about your documentary, it would be very good. Thank you.
First of all, thank you, Jean-Francois, for always supporting this kind of work and being there from the beginning of my journey. From starting the Velvet journey, which was about personal development and spiritual development for gay men, specifically, then my vision grew into really doing this kind of work around the world, especially after I published my first book, A Path to Wisdom, How to Live a Balanced, Healthy and Peaceful Life in 2014, which became 7 times international bestseller and also became the inspiration behind a lot of the work that followed since 2014, including the Living My Illusion documentary. And I mean, when I started this work, I never knew how far this could go. But what I noticed is that people around the world, they were seeking for clarity. They were seeking a way out of their own pain and life adversity. And we tend to have those separations within ourselves that basically some people who may perceive that wealthy people don't have problems or poor people only have problems. The clients that I work with to build their business, because the core of my work is helping people build successful businesses, global businesses, products, services, whatever they need to go to a whole new level, especially people who want to go from 6-figure, 7, 8, 9-figure businesses. And the clients were so inspired by what we did, but the first part of the work was to really see what is happening in the business at the human level. Because I spent 30 years understanding human behavior. For me, any growth that anybody needs to create starts with understanding the psychology of the business. And on that journey, I realized that the owners of the business was the problem why the business wasn't growing. And the owners were a couple. So from business coaching, that went on also to start relationship coaching for them, to be able to help them as 2 leaders to really focus them and remove all of those conflicts in the relationship so the business can grow. On that journey, my clients, Joel and Timmy, I felt so inspired to what they were discovering about themselves and what the method, which I speak about in Path to Wisdom and the follow books, can do for a person to transform their psychology in alignment with the dreams they want to create for themselves. But most importantly, what most people do, especially we as men, we become people pleasers. So we really addressed like issues that every human being cannot escape, especially what happens when somebody goes through midlife crisis. So the documentary itself, it's about really taking my clients live client sessions that was done for 3 years, but squeezed into 15 minutes documentary. And what really happens around when it comes to impact mental health has on ourselves, on our physical body, emotional body, our health, but also on the family, why some couples go through the route of IV, but not addressing the real issues behind that, what happens for men who develop prostate cancer, and what people can do before it happens that, and all the follow-up problems that men go through midlife crisis. And that majority of women, on the other hand, they sort of more connected when it comes to going through midlife crisis and talking about their emotions, talking about their feelings. We as gay men, we are used to talking to each other about every issues. So we want to really to capture those 3 things when people suppress their truth, and how with time that suppression of truth can turn into an illness. What happens through midlife crisis and what happens in the relationship that stops the leaders to be grounded, visionary, and be excellent leaders in their business, that they can grow their businesses without all this drama going on. So that turned around into a Living My Illusion documentary, and the first episode is called The Truth Hurts, which we launched at my 50th birthday, which you attended kindly, and basically has gone out to millions of viewers around the world, because people are almost using the process that we're sharing in there as a self-reflection to, where is it that I'm not speaking my truth? Where is it that I'm lying to myself and lying to other people? And what are the core issues that I must address in the now for me to be able to live a fulfilled life?
Mm-hmm. Very good. That's, and with regard to the documentary itself, I mean, I don't know if any of you have actually had time to have a look at the documentary, but there is. But did you look at the recent sort of comments about the things on Amazon there recently?
Yes, I mean, it's basically the reality is behind the document. With any work out there, you will have people who criticize something and challenges their values, and you have people who see themselves. And it's okay, because that's basically what I do globally. There's part of the world that gets challenged by that, because a lot of people might see it as, you know, if you are religious, for instance, and you're against marriage, divorce, you're not going to say a good comment about it. Okay? So it's the same thing as gay people. We've been consistently judged throughout our life. And if you are somebody who's disempowered and you're not growing your business and everything else, you might see it as self-promotional. And it's okay again. It's all depends how your psychology is developed and what you get out of it. So people, you know, if you were to really sit down and analyze every part of it, and then you reflect that to your own life, you will get so much out of it. So it all depends, as I say, it's, you know, like everything else in life, you can read any book, but what one person gets from that book, it will be different what other person gets. So I'm not really driven by what positive or negative comment. We are driven by a vision to bring this work to 1 billion people. So 1 billion people can self-reflect and do something with that so they can change their lives. Positively can then change their lives, but also promoting the importance of mentorship, about coaching, about other therapies people can have access to, mental health. I mean, all of the things, like, for instance, as gay men, we've fought for many years for the freedom that we currently have. But unfortunately, we've seen now with the Black Lives Matter movement how deep-rooted racism is. So, you know, all these people who are homophobic, of course, they're going to be racist. And all these people who are racist, of course, going to be homophobic. So, you know, this is all what connects us. And for me, it's sort of, I'm perfectly happy with whatever people they say, because I believe people can express themselves at the awareness which they're at that moment. Because as the awareness grows, your expression and your views about life change. I've had people who basically, when I was doing the Velvet Journey, who basically were so homophobic that regardless what work I was doing, for them was judgmental. So, you know, it's the same thing. So, but that does not drive me. What drives me is the inspiration within me and the results I've created consistently with thousands of people around the world.
Well done. Well done.